This is great, everyone. You're in for a treat with this episode because we're educating ourselves and we're educating you by proxy. So multiple sclerosis is a lifelong condition that affects the brain and the nerves. Cannot be cured, but medicines and other treatments can help ease some of the symptoms. So it's MS, okay.
Yeah, that's my grandma had that.
Nasty.
My initials are MS. In case you want to know. No?
And just to confirm, ChatGPT, its main source of information is Wikipedia.
It is.
Confirmed.
Okay. So it's kind of a waste of time, then, really.
It's in the same way that Wikipedia is a waste of time.
That's what I mean.
Or incredibly useful.
Can you still program Wikipedia?
Yeah, you can edit it yourself. So, for example, if ChatGPT is an AI that you ask it on one day, where is America? And it will say, the Northern Hemisphere on the eastern section of the globe. And then you retype Wikipedia, and then the next day you go, it's in the Southern Hemisphere, just below China.
Well, I don't know about you, but we used to do it in class. I think it was IT, actually.
Well, that's right. You spend ICT, yeah?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
They, for whatever reason, the teacher would get a subject up, and then one of us would like distract the teacher, while someone else like writes in there like Mr. O'Sullivan's a twat or something like that. And then he'd get up on the whiteboard thing, start reading it, and then he'd start reading it, and you see him like stop.
That's very good. That is very, very good.
And he's like, "Who did that?" And we're like, "Don't know what you mean."
Yeah, we're just like, don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty obvious after like the 6th or 7th time, but it was still funny. Never gets old, that.
Oh, never.
Right, so the point we want to talk about today, which kind of ties into our random first point about brain sizes, higher education. What's your thoughts on that? I will start by saying neither of us have had any higher education.
Therefore, we're the most qualified people out there.
Exactly.
In what respect? What do I think about it? As a concept or as a?
Yep.
I think it's a brilliant idea to have these universities that are these seats of learning where you can go to learn in depth to the nth degree about a particular topic. So if you wanted to study, biochemical engineering, then you can go work at the AWE. Yeah. Then of course university is the place for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have those qualifications or that knowledge to then have that career choice. Same thing with philosophy or applied maths, physics, anything like that. With I was listening to someone the other day who was saying that physics is the community that the human race will live or die with. So if the physics community thrives, humanity will thrive because physics pushes everything forward. Because everything is derived from physics advancements afterwards, with it biological, chemical, in whatever, financial. In the greatest boundary being that physics will get us off this planet.
Yeah, of course.
So in that respect, it is in some aspects there's nothing more important than higher education, because if we don't have these institutes to teach the next generation the wisdom of the ages, history, for example, that's vital to learn history, it's vital for that to be a subject that's taught at a greater depth. Then we're never going to progress, and we're never going to learn and adapt from there.
Of course.
Now, is our current format the best? I think there are some major loopholes there. I don't know, but I just think with you and I have come from the generation of helicopter parents who've seen the mistakes that their parents made and they've overcorrected by now saying, where their parents neglected them, I'm not going to neglect my kids by that. I'm going to be the most supportive person I possibly can and say, you know what, son, you know what, daughter, you can do anything. And the kid's now like, fuck. That's a lot of options.
Yeah.
So they're then paralysed by choice.
Yeah, exactly. We've spoken about that before, haven't we? Is that these days there is, it's a good thing in many ways, but you hit the nail on the head. You can be paralysed by choice because there's too many options out there. Back in the day, especially before the internet and stuff like that, people were sort of boxed in by what they could do in terms of their career and anything else in their life. So they had a small channel where they could go down with not many roads to fork off. That was unintentional. So they'd stick to one of them, and it was quite easy just to make a decision and go for it and work down that road. Whereas these days you've got so many different avenues that you can choose from, and can be quite daunting for people to make a decision. I know for me, I was lost for a while because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I had to just one day just say, look, just fucking choose something. I mean, just go for it, and if you change your mind later on down the line, at least you've actually done something. Where I still see a lot of people where they're pretty much our age and they're unsure what they want to do, and therefore they haven't done anything. They're fluttered about doing a bit of this and a bit of that, and they haven't really pushed anything forward. And I think you need to learn valuable skills through whatever you do, like a bit like what we did when we were young. We worked for estate agencies and stuff like that, so we built up that sales experience, which is transferable to any industry. I'd hardly advise anyone, if they don't know what they want to do, go into a sales role, because you can transfer that into literally anything you do. Like you have, you moved obviously to a tailor's after that, which was mainly, even though you're selling a product, it's all customer service based, isn't it? Which you learn from being in sales roles. And now again, you've transferred that into the fitness industry, which again, it's most people confuse sales with trying to sell someone a product. At the end of the day, you're a facilitator for helping someone get what they want. That's it. If you can nail that. Do you remember we worked with some people and they would try and actually sell. And really what you're doing is you're trying to force someone into do something that they don't necessarily want to do. And that's always going to come back on you and backfire. It makes you look stupid, it makes you look greedy, and have a low emotional intelligence, because you're not trying to actually help somebody, you're just trying to take for yourself. And anyone with any degree of intelligence can see straight through that. So really you want to provide a good service to people. I got the most respect for people when I was selling by telling them they couldn't have things, which is it's a weird dichotomy, isn't it? Most people are told just do whatever you can to get it over the line or whatever. A lot of the time I'd say, look, especially when we're with houses, this house isn't for you. You told me you want this, this and this, and doesn't match that. I can show you around it if you want, but you've told me you don't want it. I've got this other option for you here. Something like that. And again, I think you build more trust with people by being honest in that way rather than being a yes man.
But the best experience you can give a customer is if they come in looking for X and the correct answer for the customer is, you know what, we're not really going to have anything here for you, but tell you what, Jeeves and Sons, 4 doors around there, he'll have it. He's had a new one come in, which is a green one, and you get an extra pair of trousers with it as well. It's 4 doors across. It's the one next to the shop with the blue sign. They are the happiest customers you're ever going to deal with, because you've told them to go away and not spend money in their place, and you've given them the exact place where they can go to get what they want, and it's probably going to be a better experience over there for you. So it's a weird dichotomy, as you're saying, because you can't, no matter how well you perform in regards to actually fulfilling their need for what they actually want from you, and you have it and you fulfill it to the perfect degree, they're not going to be as happy compared to that person who you said, you know what, mate, what we have here is not for you. You want to go to that one over there.
Yeah, because you're being genuine,
exactly.
Isn't it? And the next time they'll think about it, I think, well, I'll go back to them, because they're going to genuinely give me an idea of what I want.
Yes, exactly. And almost more importantly, actually, is that even if they never ever come to you again, they're going to tell 5 people about the great experience they just had.
Yeah.
And those people are going to turn. So that refusal of that one person has gained you 4 more people.
Well, I have it quite a lot in my businesses. You know, it's probably the same in various other places, but it tends to be that one company specialises in a certain thing, and quite often we don't work together, but because I specialise in one thing and the other firm specialises in another and the other firm specialises in another, instead of me trying to be all things to all men, I will specialise in what I do, and when I can't provide that product, I'll say, look, here's a number for this company. They will look after you. Tell them that I sent you across to look after you.
Yep.
And vice versa. That firm will also, when someone calls them and says, have you got this? And they don't have it because it's not their niche, they'll send it back to me. And it works. You know, I've got 10 companies I do that with. And it works quite well because you always got people. Business is war at the end of the day. So it's not like they're on your side.
Yeah, they're called competition for a reason.
Exactly, but they want to provide the best service for their client, same as I want to provide the best service to my client. So I'll do everything I can to help them in terms of ensuring they get a good experience with me. And if that's pushing them onto someone else, it's got to be done.
One of the directors you and I used to have, he said you never, ever, ever talk badly about a competitor.
No, never.
Never, ever. Even if they genuinely are utter shit, you never talk badly about them. You find something that's good about them. Be like, oh, you know, someone was like, oh, I went to Romans the other day. Oh, brilliant. They've got a really nice office in Reading or whatever. Because they do. It's a great office. But even they're a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But you never say that, do you?
Well, I'm not in the industry anymore, so I want.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're there and if you're talking to a customer about a competitor, you never do anything but say how good they are, because same thing as telling a customer to go somewhere else. They're gonna be like, wow, this guy's really respectful of his competition. Wow, that's some integrity right there.
Exactly, yeah. And the worst thing you can do is create that negative vibe, I guess.
Well, I've been on
with that customer.
Exactly, and I've been on the receiving end of the reverse of that. So when a competitor has talked shit about us to a customer, that customer then came to us and told us, and we were like, say that again. And he was like, yeah, that the other tailor said that your suits are shit. And we were like, the guy who said that, we were like, can you describe who this was? And he was like, oh yeah, there's this dude. And we were like, we talk to him like every other day, and he's nothing but like
two-faced.
Yeah, friendly to us. We were like, what the hell? And then from that day onwards, we were just like, right, we're not talking to him. Because it's just ridiculous.
You do have to be careful of the two-faced customers, though.
True. But I mean,
to a competitor.
But ultimately, the customer didn't buy anything from us.
Yeah.
Either way, and the customer was like, "Look, I'm in retail as well. I sell this item, so I just want to give you guys the heads up that they did this." We were like, "Okay, fine."
That's probably better that way.
Yeah, but coming back to the university, what about? We're talking about the application of it. The main question I have about university now, it used to be that, you know, the stereotype of going to university was you did this because it was part of the path of progression for education, and education then went on to life. So you would have had primary school, secondary school, college, and then university, and then you'd go to university, and then whatever you studied, you'd then get a job in that field straight afterwards. Was the source from that.
Which is kind of the point of the higher education. It's a waste.
What I want to know is when that changed, or how that changed, is what I'm curious about.
Well, I'll start from the beginning. So my understanding, similar to yours, for higher education is you're doing it for a purpose. You're doing it to achieve an end goal. Like anything, if you're not doing something to achieve an end goal, then why the fuck are you doing it? So, to put a bit more context in there, as you said, if you want to be a physician, rocket scientist, anything to do with that, like the sciences or maths or engineering, something that you're going to need that high level of education, hence higher education, to perform in the role you're performing in. You know, if you're going into a building, you want to know that the person that built this has the highest level of education physically possible, so they know the most and they've built the building well, it's not going to collapse on you. That to me is the proper use of it. Also, if you're going to be spending, 20 grand a year for university,
I think it's like no. I think it's 9.
$9,000 a year, whatever the
Yeah.
figure is. You know, say you're putting yourself in 50 grand's worth of debt. Now, for me, from a business perspective, if I'm going to put 50 grand in something, I need to see a return on that money. Otherwise, it's completely wasted.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to get that in engineering, the sciences,
Medicine,
even quite a few of the arts. However, there are handfuls of people these days that go to university because they're not sure what they want to do. They major in something that is completely irrelevant and has no real opportunity for a return on that investment. Let's choose gender studies for one of them.
or Harry Potter. You can study Harry Potter.
Or Harry Potter. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not. Or there's going to be very, very, very few options for you to get a return from the money you put in.
So to carry on from your point there, 44% of students don't know what they want to do after they finish university.
Yeah, which is madness. That's nearly 50%. So 50% of people are getting themselves into debt intentionally with no real reasoning for do so, with no ROI. And that's like me just, it's gambling. It's like gambling. It's like me chucking 50 grand at the roulette table and thinking, hopefully it comes up.
That's playing Betfred, but you need to get a loan to start playing.
Yeah. And it's probably easier to win by betting than it is to get money back from a job in gender studies or whatever.
Yeah, or actually, let me.
Like what job are you going to do where gender studies is?
You are
going to pay you.
You are going to work in the university.
So you just come back to university on what, 50 grand a year?
Not a bad salary.
Let's say, let's say you've invested 50 grand, right? That's 50 grand gone. You've got a loan. You probably paid interest on that as well. So let's say that's really real time or real life costs 80 grand. Yeah, 80 grand, right? So for you to pay and get interest back on that 80 grand is, if you earn 50 grand a year, well, you're going to pay 20% in tax. So you're only going to see, well, it's 23% tax. So you're going to see, what, 38 grand? Then what are you paying? £1,500 a month in rent. So that's 18 grand gone. So what we're 20 grand a year. Living expenses £500. That's 6 grand. So we're down to 14 grand a year. So you need to work for, what's that, 6 years to get that money back. That's if you don't spend it. You've got no problems. That's not even taking into account cars, medical expenses, holidays, all the other shit you're going to want to do.
Well, you also have to take into consideration that they set repayments at like lower than you're going to get a percentage on a credit card. So they're looking at, credit cards, what, 10%? No, 10%, 1%, beg your pardon. If you're looking for that.
What do you mean?
As in if you take money out on a credit card, once you've gone past the interest point of no interest that you're paying, 0% interest, beg your pardon, they have like a...
Yeah, it's usually between 20 and 50%.
Fine, there you go. So
just a lot.
With massive. With these, they have it at like the price of like a phone bill. So it's like, it's not big chunks coming out, but they have it so that it lasts fucking decades.
Oh, so you're only paying £50
You're paying minimum, because they want you repaying the debt.
But you're paying probably £5 in interest every month.
That's why they want you paying the debt for longer.
You're paying 10% basically.
Yeah, they don't want you to clear it in 6 years. They want you to have it for 40 years, because then obviously, as you say, they get 40 years of interest as opposed to 6.
Guaranteed money in the coffers.
Mm-hmm.
And for investment banks, that is huge, because if they can go, like mortgages, hence what happened in the 2007-2008 crash, is they were all selling debt.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what they do is they build up these huge portfolios of debt, which they're guaranteed to going to be paid from middle class people who are the least likely to default on their payments. Pardon me, sorry. Least likely to default on their payments, and then a company will buy it because they know they've got 30 years worth of income coming from that, and say they buy it for 0% interest or 2% interest or whatever, but they're getting 8% interest from the portfolio they're buying, it's worth doing it, and all they're doing is making money just by buying debt.
So, the university student living and studying for the undergraduate degree is a government subsidised loan to cover the full cost of the tuition.
Excellent.
So
we pay for that.
Yeah, universities are funded by endowments, funding councils paid for by taxation, and tuition fees are then levied on the students. Cambridge Endowment.
And 50% have got no fucking idea what they're doing, and they're wasting it.
Cambridge Endowment, 6.2 billion.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
yours-
a government subsidy.
But that's what they get in subsidies. But
Mm.
there's a massive amount of people pay for their own university. Everybody pays for university, don't they? They have to get loans.
Get loans, yeah.
Yeah, so they still pay for it.
Yeah, over 50, 60 years or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but effectively what they do is they go to a bank, get a loan,
Mm-hmm.
give that to the university, and then they pay the bank back.
Well, let me see. Where
Or do the universities have their own banks? Is that how it's...
That's a good question. Where do they... Because I don't think...
Where do student loans come from?
Yeah.
Because if it comes from subsidies from the government, then I deserve a return.
Non-profit government-owned organisation called the Student Loans Company, sponsored by the Department for Education.
How is that allowed? How have we not...
That's
Have
fucking
we cottoned on
that
to
is
this?
fucking insane.
So basically, I pay for it, or we pay for it.
We all
and
pay for it.
then- And then they benefit from it.
There are two types of student loans: governmental or private. So private is you literally just pay for what the cost of university is, or the other one is you get a loan from the government to pay for the university, and that cost is subsidised by the government.
Which...
So they're charging you for something that actually doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, and in theory, if it's going to pay for the physicians and the rocket scientists and the doctors that are going to make our society better, 100%, or 80%, I'm happy to pay for that.
Yes, I agree, because if we're looking at ROI, that's your ROI
Exactly,
right
yeah.
there.
I'm never going to be able to do that.
Mm-mm.
So for me, that's investing into my country to make it a better place for me and my children to live in.
Yes, I agree.
As you say, that's where we're going to get an ROI.
I agree.
But when there's 45% of people that are going to university
44.
to do some... 44% of people that go into university... Sorry, Jess. 40,
Oh, I didn't have to say who it was.
Yeah. They're going to university and they got no idea what they want to do with it.
Yeah.
It's actually like mind-numbing. It's like, are you brain dead?
It is fascinating because you have some people that my missus, for example, she did psychology, so she got a degree in psychology and counselling.
But it's a transferable skill, that. So.
Yes, well, and then she went on to HR, and then she's into mortgage advisor as well. So both are valuable jobs. HR's not valuable, but it's a necessary evil.
It's funny, it's only come about since females have entered the workplace.
Funny that, isn't it?
Very strange.
Very interesting. And I did have a point. Oh yeah, so that's transferable skill. My cousin, Jamie, pink-haired Jamie, he studied music at Kingston University, and his first job after that was a shelf stacker in Sainsbury's. So now he is a bit of an anomaly because he has a career in music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's a professional musician in Dubai, so it does, obviously that did work. So he got a degree in it, and he does it for a living. And there you go. Who else? I know someone who got a
Hang
degree.
on, Jamie. So we funded your university, and then you went and just moved to Dubai, and then don't pay any tax over there.
What are you doing, man?
How does that work? That's unfair.
Is that treason? That sounds like treason.
It does sound like treason.
It does. We're going to come for you, buddy.
I want my money back.
Yeah, Jamie. This is
Although
you.
he's older than me, isn't he?
Just.
Yeah, I was probably paying for his
Yeah. yeah. Either way. I got
I still am.
I got a friend who did what they did. They did architecture and planning, some of which was fascinating, like how they plan cities. Really cool.
Yeah. I was in Barcelona. Barcelona's an awesome city. You see the skyscraper. It's not even really
Or the cathedral.
skyscraper. But yeah, so if you see Barcelona, everything is sort of centered around the cathedral, and then it's all built in like blocks. So let me try and get this up for you.
But then they went on to be a teacher. So what I'm wondering is that's that sort of
What
the planner went on to be a teacher. So I'm wondering, is that a bit cyclical? So that you were taught how to teach?
I think that all the great people in the world should go on to teach later on in
Something.
life. Because if they've been...
Well, you're never teaching.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
If they've been great at something, then they're the best person to learn from.
Yeah.
Like my brother said when he went to university, he studied... he did business studies, then he got a master's in business studies. And when he was doing his master's, he pretty much from the first day identified the hypocrisy is the bloke who's teaching him to be a master in business has never owned a business before, never ran a business before, has just gone to university, learned about business studies, and is now lecturing people on how to be successful in business studies.
So Bobby went to Nottingham University. Do you know what he has a degree in?
Go on.
Real estate.
That's not bad though.
Yeah, but he's got nothing.
But he's never done anything
Nothing fucking to do with it.
No. Yeah.
And I got a question. Does he know more than you do?
I'd argue no.
Yeah.
I'd argue he's got no idea.
Yeah, fucking hands down.
From first-hand experience.
Hands down, no, I'd say. No fucking way.
And I used to have, people would say it to me like, oh, you're just in a sales role, and I'm going to university and I'm getting educated, and I'm like,
All right.
this used to, when you say it to them, it really wound them up, and they couldn't comprehend it at first. It's a bit like cognitive dissonance. And then the penny drops, and I'm like, I've fucked up here. So I was being paid to learn a skill that's going to create wealth and value for me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Whereas you paid for a skill that's absolutely fucking useless.
And now this is university dependent.
But because they've got a degree, they've got that, what's the word?
Higher value.
Depending on what the degree is in, but if it's in a useless subject, they've got that, what's the word I'm looking for? The sort of arrogance that they are superior, even though they're still fucking morons.
Well, and to your point about you're paying, you are getting paid for education. They are paying for an education, and university dependent. They are paying for an education and paying to spend 3 years blowing powder up their nose.
Yeah, and that was one thing I was kind of lucky about for going into a sales role. I mean, there's a lot of sales places that they do.
Oh yes, as well we know.
Of powder. However, for me, I couldn't go out drinking. I couldn't go out partying all that time because I had to be up for work.
I was the exact same.
And I need to ensure that I was ready for the day.
I've just seen the Barcelona.
I'm trying to get a good photo.
I've already got one. Mate, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
That's fucking beautiful.
It all goes to the. Is it the?
We got the cathedral right there. That's not even finished yet.
Sangria, something
Yeah.
like that.
Sagrada Familia.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fucking nuts, bro. Yes, for everyone, we are at some point going to get a screen here so you can see what we can see.
Yeah.
But it's is it Sagrada?
No,
It's Sagrada Familia. So it's a big black dick. It's Sagrada Familia, and the city is built basically to accentuate it
around the cathedral.
Wow, that's nuts.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Oh no, there you go. Whoa.
Bird's eye view.
Yeah, I've just found it. Hey, come on, bitch. Fucking show me. I'll do it. There we go. Blah, 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 blah. Bird's eye view. There it is. Woo, woo. There you go, buddy.
Yeah, that's mental.
Yeah, that is sick. It's so pleasing just to see how they've laid it out. That's amazing. That's still Sagrada Familia is still not finished.
Yeah, well, I think it had been, but it did. Was there a fire or something like that?
Oh, I thought they'd just taken ages to build it. So I went to a bunch of different universities. I had a look around, see what was going on, I really liked Nottingham, where my
Yep.
sister ended up
My
going.
sister went to Nottingham.
Yeah. Well, I really liked Hertfordshire. That was a beautiful campus because they took an old airfield and just ripped it apart and put it back together again. It was really cool. But I think in the end, like the main decision, what ended up happening is we got results day. Everyone got their results. Like my mate Shaq got unconditional, so he turned up on just dressed like he was going to the beach. The little prick who didn't give a crap. And like loads of people.
What, he got an unconditional scholarship?
Unconditional offer. So just like they don't care what results he gets, he's got a place.
Why is that? Just because he was doing so well?
No, because it was theatre.
And he just needed someone?
Yeah. So bear in mind, but for the second year, half the year, his teachers went on strike, so he didn't get half a year. It's fantastic, isn't it?
And we paid for that as well.
Yep. Not to say that strikes on occasion are not right and proper, but I think it's just quite funny.
I'd argue that.
Okay, we'll come back to that. And what was I going to say? And oh yeah, loads of people got below the grades they needed, but they still got in. I got below the grades I needed, and I didn't get in. And so I just went, eh. And at that point, I realised I didn't care. So I went, okay, it wasn't for me then. And so I just went straight into work.
Fair play. Yeah, it depends what you want to do. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a positive thing to delay growing up into adulthood, because for society, we need people of working age earning money, paying into the economy, spending into the economy, so that everything can build and grow and continue to work the way it does. However, I would have liked to go to university and just get fucked up for 3 years. It'd be great fun.
Yeah, of course I would.
And not really done anything.
Yeah.
But I did that at college, so I didn't really need another 3 years.
Yeah, and as you say, some people do, because let's link this back to one of our first ever topics on like episode 2.
Go on.
Delayed versus instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
University is, the first year is instant gratification, because in your first year you do fuck all.
Yeah, everybody I know that went to university basically says the first year.
Don't do shit.
Don't do anything.
Yeah, and like, yeah, everyone I've spoken to, like I've been to people's university where they've been on first year, and it is a blast. Absolute shitholes they all live in.
Oh yeah,
they live in they live in
squalor, basically.
Self-imposed squalor,
Yeah.
and I don't know what that is. Do you think it's because they just every night's just one big party? There's no point cleaning up.
Probably. Yeah, I reckon the first couple of weeks they probably clear up, and then after a while they just think they're hungover all the time.
Yeah, they're like, fuck it, man.
But what would confuse and frustrate me is if you're not doing anything, why don't you just tidy up?
Mate, there was a girl I was seeing at the time, and she was in Bristol, and I went a couple of times to the university, like the residence there. Filth.
I'll be honest.
Filth.
I think there was only one of my friends who lived in squalor. The rest of them actually were all quite clean and tidy. I don't know if that was just luck on my friendship group. Or
Yeah, you had the anomaly there. Yeah. There was some of it was just in those houses and all the other houses I've been to, it was just weird shit that was like messy about. Like someone had put like shoes in the washing machine, or someone had got like a cereal box and poured like half it on the counter and then just left it there. And it's like, this is such a weird. It's like the behaviours of a meth head.
Yeah. Is it like
it's
a respect
such weird? I don't know what it is. It's
self-respect or respect for your
or they were like door
roommates,
or in the kitchen, like cupboard doors would have been ripped off and then put back on like wrong upside down or something.
I mean, that does happen when you get fucked up, but
yeah, but fix it.
Well, what we would do is if we went to like my mate's uni halls or anything like that, we would, because there'd be so many of us, like 5-10 people, in the morning we would just get up, get a bin bag out, fucking chuck everything in, one start doing the washing up, one doing the drying, do all that, get that done, and then get out of there.
See, I was raised properly, so in a similar way to you, but we do it before everyone fucked off. So if people,
I couldn't do it the night before.
No, but
you'd have a whip round just before everyone passes out. I do agree with that. We used to do that.
No, but we would like
a semi whip round.
If we're going somewhere else, or if I'm kicking everyone out, then I'm like, cool. And we'd all got into a habit of it that we'd all just run around everything.
Yeah.
And even if it was just stack it all by the sink, even if it was just put everything in bin bags, get it all done so that the only thing to do in the morning is just the cans and the bottles by the sink. That was it. And we just cleared up everything and put it over there. So then you're like, okay, that's only one job in the morning then, because everything else is fine. But we just did it from day one, and we just got into a habit of it. Wherever we went, whatever house it was, we would just clean it all up and then fuck off.
It's so much easier 10 people cleaning up than one person.
Oh, don't. We had a week-long house party in October of 2012. So my folks went to, where did they go? Tenerife for a week. And I was like...
Do they know this?
Oh, yeah. So they went away for a week. And I was like... And, like, people moved in. We had, like... we just had, like, parties, full-on parties every night for a week. But it was sick. It was so much fun because we would vary what kind of the nights were. One was a Nerf war. One was blanket forts. One was drinking games on playing the Xbox and stuff like that. Some was just dancing. Some was working out because we had the garage next door and everything. But the day before my folks came back, everyone like piled in. I was like, cool, let's and we just wrecked the house from top to bottom by just having it clean. So people were hoovering, they were mopping, they were doing like fucking rescrewing toilet seats back on because they'd like come off or some shit like that, and then
they just fell off.
We took, you know, those we had these big plastic glass recycling boxes. We took them up to the ones by Highdown, the recycling bits over there, and we took 8 of them up. Because of the age we were, we couldn't drive, so we just carried them. So all of us are doing a double farmer's carry all the way to Highdown, which is like a mile away, and we were like, "Fuck this!"
Up that hill as well.
It was so horrible. Well, I was on gravel hill, so it's even steeper.
That's what I mean. That first bit.
Yeah,
it's alright once you do it.
Yeah,
but
sorry, I forget you came to my house. I'm being retarded. Yeah, and we went up there, and it was then you know exactly the distance.
I was selling it as well.
Yeah, Did you sell it?
I think I'd left before.
Man, that would have been. You should.
But we did have it on the market.
Yeah, I think I coupled it at the time. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah, well, it's the usual wide boy tactic of they go to the shittest estate agent and they go, yeah, we'll put it on for 1.1, and it's like that's 200 grand over what it's worth, and it's like
that wasn't us.
I know it wasn't. I know you guys got.
Okay, did we get it second? Okay, yeah.
Second or third, yeah. I don't know who sold it in the end. But I was just like,
not keen on sloppy seconds, me.
Piece of shit. Well, I mean, for what it did sell for, that's a naughty fee, but still.
Well, it depends. There's some people in Caversham, they'll drop their pants for a fee. That's to wind us up. That we'd all be working hard to try and maintain the fees, because obviously that's how we get paid. Yeah. And what a lot of people don't realise, and especially in agency, especially in the UK, is it can take me 6 to 12 months to get a property on the market. Yeah. It can then take me another 3 to 9 months to sell the property. It can then take another 3, 6, 9 months for that property to actually go through. So I'm nearly 3 years in selling a property. To get one fee, which 1% of a million, 10 grand, sounds great, but what for 3 years work between a team of 5 people, marketing, petrol, time, all of that type of stuff. Did you split the fee? Well, that would be what the company would earn. Oh, and right. I'd get a certain amount of that, right? Which would be like 8% of that. So it wouldn't be a lot. Do you know what I mean? Yes. We're talking 800 quid. Yeah. For 3 years work. No, it's not worth it. And then you get people to go around and drop their pants and do like 3 grand, 4 grand fees, and you're like, yeah, I know, it's just crazy. Not worth it. Well, it's very interesting. Some of our ex-colleagues who've gone with this company who have adopted an American model. Avocado. Yeah, where people are going more. My sister just bought for them actually. Oh, but good experience. I think so. They're okay. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of like, when we used to do it, we would be there throughout the whole process. Mm-hmm. But I think they basically try and not do the viewings like old school days.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like
They'd be
the
the
best
tenant
part.
will show you around or whatever.
That's like the best part.
And then afterwards, it's same again. Is you can go and have a look at the house, but the tenant will show you around, type of thing.
I love doing viewings. That's the best part of the job. Yeah.
Yeah, especially.
Well, and negotiating. That's fun as well.
Yeah. Well, the best part of the job for me, which at the time was the most stressful, and I hated it, but it was like open houses.
Oh yeah, those are good.
But
yeah,
we wouldn't do it at like American style where everybody comes in all at once.
No, you stagger them. Yeah,
it was staggered over for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you'd have to, you'd have 4 people an hour, and they won't be on their own. They'd come with a few people, and we'd be there for like 4 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
And you'd have to give them all the information, show them around, make sure. And how a viewing, typically a proper viewing is half an hour, really, isn't it?
Like we're given half a fucking hour.
If you do it properly.
Jesus.
So 15 minutes. That's 15 minutes to. Quite often it's the first time you met them, so you got to get as much details out of them as possible in terms of what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So you can find what they're looking for and provide the best service for them, and also learn what their requirements are, so you can go out and try and find a property like that on the market. That was the best thing for me. I love doing that. And that's what a lot of people wouldn't understand, is the agent would ask you questions about what you want, and they're either stupid, lethargic, or can't be bothered to tell you, or think you're encroaching on their information, or whatever bollocks story they're telling themselves is. No, you want to buy a house, and I want to sell a house, because that's how I get paid. You want to buy a house? Okay, you tell me what you want. I will actually go out there, if it's not on the market, and try and find you one, in the hope that they're going to sell.
Yeah, so you're looking... Look, Mr. and Mrs. Dickface, you want a 3-bed near the river. We're all out of 3-beds. We just sold our last one. I need to go find you another one. What else do you want?
So I go and knock on every single one of those doors.
Yeah, just
give me if they want to sell.
Give me absolute specifics, then it makes your job easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to I need a 3-bed in Reading. It's like, great. I'll go speak to every other house. Brilliant.
And I had one client, and I actually, in the end, just sort of stuck on him. I said, look, I can't keep doing this anymore. I must have shown around 20 houses.
Oh God!
And it was over like a 2-year period.
Oh,
and every time,
no.
it's like, and they won't even give you feedback or whatever. And you're with them, and every time you're going through, you're saying, right. So last time I saw you, you told me you wanted a 4-bed. These were all your requirements. What's changed? Hence why you've come to see this one. And again, they would either be vague or try and not do something. Try to skip over the question, or be like, oh, my situation's changed now, like blah, 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 blah. But when they're calling up and they're demanding to view a property, and they're the type of people that if you refuse to show them round, they'd go and knock on the door. And the worst thing you wanted is for someone to go and knock on the door where your client is in the house and say, my agent refused to show you around. Which, in hindsight, it depends what your client's like.
Yeah.
And who you're dealing with. Mm-hmm. Because if you called up and said, look, honestly, it's a tire kicker, it's a waste of time. Then
tire kicker, nice, that's good.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
And then that would work as long as you did sell the house very swiftly.
Yeah.
But if the house was on the market for 6 months and you told them it was a tire kicker trying to see it on the first week, they'd be like, well, you haven't sold the house, and
we need viewings,
and you're actively turning people away.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not an easy game.
No, it does weigh up.
But that's why we learned so much.
But why the hell do you show them at 20? I stopped at 3.
This was over 2 years though.
I didn't give a shit. I said, you see 3, and if you don't take any of them, fuck off.
Yeah.
Unless you can tell me specifically they were wrong for this reason, that reason, and this reason, like actual real reasons, as opposed to, that room's.
But it wouldn't always be me who'd book the viewing as well. Like, bear in mind, it's a team of like 5 people. Then,
right. Okay.
Then
it wouldn't be your job to follow up with them necessarily.
Well, no, then they'd book the viewing because I'm not there or I'm out of the office or something like that. Then I'd come in and see in the diary that I've got a viewing with those people, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
did you not read the notes? Yes. Do not show.
Yeah, so many times I've done that, and I'm just like, why? I'm like, but I was just like, no, like if you want that viewing, you go do it. Yes, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, or the vendor needs viewing, so let's show them around.
No, yeah, it's ridiculous.
It was a fun game.
There's so many good parts of it. Like it's bizarre that we were given 15 minutes for a viewing. And you have to go do, then you're like, right, I gotta go, see you later, go from there.
5 minutes to the next one.
Open houses were brilliant because, again, you wouldn't have them all at one go, but you, as you say, you stagger them.
It was great for learning time management, people skills. Massive part of that people skills is learning how to deal with different people. And if you're dealing with 15 different people an hour, you know, I used to say, you know, if I had 25 viewings on a Saturday or something like that, let's say there's 3 people at each one of those, there's 75 people I'm meeting in one day. Most people would never fucking meet that many people, and I'm doing that 5-6 days a week.
Yeah.
So it's amazing over the years how many people, say you're doing that for, I think I did it for 5-6 years, how many people I would actually meet. It's tens of thousands of people.
Yeah, that's very interesting, actually. I never actually thought to actually count that. Because it's going to be the same sort of number, because different industry, but still, wedding parties, there'll be anything from 3 to 11 people. And you get, on the weekend, you're there, on a Saturday, you're there 8 hours, you get 1 an hour. It's like, that's a fuck ton of people. That's like 80 people you're meeting in one day as you go. Yeah, the open houses is interesting because it employs a psychological trick of like urgency. Yeah. So it was all about the techniques of it was building the urgency. Whereas with that, you don't have to do shit. I loved those viewings. I mean, that was an awesome property, and we stagger them. I felt like a weight lifted off because like I don't have to do anything. I just got to turn up, just be friendly, just tell them where things are, what's going on about it, the information, and then.
How many people are viewing it today?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't even do that. See, because most of them they'd be like staggered it 15 minutes apart. I'd do those, fill out those blocks, and then I'd tell like my favourite, the ones that were like my proper ones. I'd be like, you know what, you guys want to come at like 5 past as opposed to 1/4 past because we've got all of these other ones afterwards. And then I'll do the same thing with another ones, but like you want to come at like 20 past, not 1/2 past, because there's all these other ones, and just the whole thing, and people would just shit themselves, and we'd have like 9 offers on that one property. Fucking love those; they're so much fun. You don't have to do anything because the other people see. If someone's at a property and it's just them, they're like, "Oh yeah, this is nice. This is all cool."
There's no urgency.
There's no urgency unless they specifically have to move. If someone else comes in, they're like, they can't get it.
Exactly, you've got to create the urgency.
They can't get it. No, to hell with that.
That's what I'd love telling them.
Matt, where's the paperwork?
Yeah,
give it to me. Yeah, I'll see you later.
Yeah, so you're viewing number 5 today. We've got another 20 after you.
I'd be like, wait, what? I'd be like, no, and also I'd be like, why am I 5? Why am I not 1?
Because you can only do this time, so.
And you're like, it's booked up before and there's nothing I can do about it. And then I'm like, Max, come on, mate, for me, do something for it. Do something for me. And you were like, okay, hang on.
My client.
And you're like, hang on. Yeah, but this is what I love. I loved, like, preferential treatment for your clients was great. Because you'd be like, all right, Dave, hang on, mate, hang on. Let me go have a look for you. Let me go do this. Yeah, I love that shit. That was so much fun.
But I do miss it, I'm not going to lie.
Well, as we talked about before, mate.
I don't miss the hours, though.
Well, I don't know. If you were to be looking... If you were to go again, would you go and work for someone? Or would you do it yourself?
See, I considered starting an estate agent when I was thinking about business. But for me, there's not... You can't scale an estate agency business as quickly as I knew I could scale another business in order to generate income.
True.
And at the end of the day, the reason I was there was to earn money. And once I've got millions and millions of pounds in the bank, then I've got the freedom of choice to do what I want. I know people say like, "Oh, do what you want and you'll love it and you'll do it for the rest of your life." Blah blah blah. When I know there's ways that I can scale businesses to, you know, earn millions of pounds relatively quickly. Once I've done that and I've got that security, then I can do whatever I want because then I haven't got to stress if it goes wrong or not. But what would really fuck me off is, especially in an agency, I reckon it would take a good 10 to 15 years to build an agency up to a point where you might earn hundreds of grand a year. And for me, that's just too slow.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So for the ones that the company that we were at, the directors were 70 grand, 100 grand,
yeah,
that sort of thing, and they've been there for 10, 12 years.
Yeah. Fuck that. It was just far too slow for me for the hours. Do you know what I mean? Considering the hours, you can do not saying much less work, but I mean you can do if you were doing the same amount of hours, you'd be earning shitloads more.
So for people who do...
And it's the ROI again.
Yeah.
That's what I was just saying.
Yeah, people who don't know, the company that Max and I used to work for, in the contract, you would sign into it saying that you were accepting this position on the understanding that you'd be earning less than minimum wage an hour when you broke it down. Because you would start work at minimum was on paper was 8 o'clock, in actuality was past 7, and then you'd finish at 7.
And if you got at 7:30, you were late.
Yeah, then you finished at 7, and you would do that 6 days a week.
Yeah.
So you're working 70 hours a week for fuck all. And as you're saying, if you worked at a job that was, I don't know, a tenner an hour, 70 hours a week, 700 quid a week. There you go. We'd be making 3 times the income that we were making from that job just on the hours you worked alone.
But don't get me wrong, I don't regret it in any way, because I learnt so much about all sorts. Work ethic was the thing I take away from that most.
You learn a lot about yourself.
Well, the one thing I found interesting, which it took me about 3 to 4 weeks to really figure it out. But when you're trying to keep up with people, a team of people that are on certain substances,
Excuse me,
and you're sober, you really learn how to tap into that. And I took that away with me, which I think is a good thing, because it's again, as I say, when you're trying to keep up with that, you learn to be able to do so. And then when you cotton on, you're like, hang on a minute, this is why it was a bit more difficult for me.
Yeah. You're like, why is everyone else just crazy? Yeah, for sure. That's a very good point.
Are they going out after work and then every night and then coming back in at 7?
Yeah, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. How they doing it? Yeah, that's a very interesting point. For me, it was I valued time so much more. Yeah. From leaving, I was just like,
well, you had
how
no
have I
life
got all this
outside
time?
Of that.
When I switched to then my manager role in a different industry, I was like, I'm sorry, I have an hour break. What am I going? What do I do in an hour? I took a book. I just started reading again. I was like, shit.
See, I've still never had a break. I've never been able to have a lunch break.
But that's entirely your doing.
Oh, it's my choice.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
I just, when I worked at other agencies, you're entitled to an hour's lunch break. But I just had my food and then
go back to it.
Went to work.
Yeah.
And where I work now, I can just eat at my desk. So I just.
Oh, I do the same. Yeah, I eat at my desk. But for me, I like the variety. Because the thing that made me go crazy is when I was sat at my desk and there was either too much work or not enough work, and I'd be like this, and then my brain would just estate agency, and my brain would just fry.
See, there's never not enough work. You have to create it. You have to find it.
See. And again, as I spoke about before, I think it was that specific environment, because unlike you, I didn't go on to a different agency afterwards. I just changed industries completely because I thought it was the industry that was the problem. From talking to yourself and other people from other companies, I'm like, oh no, it wasn't the industry necessarily.
No.
So, and because of that, and because of the environment I was in, I was just like, no, I can't be here. And then you got the other side of it when I was on retail, when I was on my feet all day. So when you get a lunch break, you're like, oh, yes, I need a rest. Yeah. Whereas now, I can do an 8-9 hour shift without a break because I'm changing, because I'm lifting this, I'm moving that, I'm running over here, I'm doing this, I'm teaching that, and then, I'm sitting down doing a bit of this work, but, whatever. And it's great because the variety keeps everything fresh, keeps my mind fresh, keeps my body fresh. So it's like, I don't need to stop, I just keep going.
That's one thing I like, and I do massively respect in what you do, is I would love to be able to couple fitness and business, because the main thing, or I believe, the main thing we're really here for in this physical plane is active movement. Otherwise, what's the fucking point of it? Do you know, what's the point of?
Why do we have this vessel?
Yeah, why do we have this? Yeah, as you say, this vessel, if we can't physically move about and do that, and that's what we're all doing all day long when we're in some type of action, but. Again, maybe David Goggins would say this as well. Is this more like you want to exert your body to the fullest potential you possibly can all the time? to really comprehend what your body can do, and as a byproduct, what your mind can do off the back of it.
Well, your brain gives up before your body does.
Yeah.
So because we are programmed to avoid pain. So when your body is, if you go towards something that's hot, you're like, go away from it because it hurts. Because you stay there too long, you'll burn. You'll end up scarring the tissue. Could be nerve damage. You could your hand, in greatest extreme, you could burn and you lose the hand. That's what it's for. If you're getting when you're exercising, if you go past a certain point of your capabilities, it will start to hurt because you'll generate lactic acid. And again, your body has the same response to be like, oh, get away from pain because it hurts. But with exercise, the first portion of that, you could physically keep going because the pain you're getting is
First
from
pain's mental, isn't it?
Yeah, because the pain you're getting is from, let's say you're getting fatigue from a bench press. You're getting that pain because your muscles are straining because they're not as strong. Or if you're on burpee number 26, then it's because you've got lactic acid. You're running out of breath. Your heart rate's pounding out. Your blood pressure goes straight up. That's the pain you're getting from that. You're getting lightheaded because you can't get enough breath coming through. You physically can keep going, but your brain's like, oh, I've got all this shit going on, and your body's like, what is going on from there? But like everything, your body adapts over time to become better at all that and be like, oh, it's doing this motion. All right, cool. We've, our stamina has increased, our endurance has increased, our cardiovascular functioning works that much quicker and that much more effectively, so that our resting heart rate is much lower. We're now like 42, whereas when we started doing this, we were 60. So then we can then process this really quickly. We were doing this enough so we can recover quickly again afterwards for more exercises, and you adapt as you're going through.
Nice. And I think that brings us nicely on to part 2. So thank you for joining today, guys. We will see you in part 2 of this episode.